Alright, this is pre-meet on day 2, February 18th.
Against BMI, 12:30 pregame, 1 o'clock first pitch on WWL. I'm Ian Ozan, WWL First News. Have a wonderful Sunday. Now, from the Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union Studios, back to WWL. To connect them together, but I don't think we've seen transformative teams and rosters like we've seen over this, what are we at, a 6-year stretch, 5-year stretch, whatever it is, from where it started to where it is now. And they're totally different than what they used to be.
They have 3 players on this team who have been around for all 5 years.
I guess he stopped in real quick.
Yeah. Potty break.
Already? We didn't even start yet.
Hey, if his bladder's anything like Rainy's.
No, I got you.
No, actually though, Rainy's really good now about holding it.
She's really good now, yeah.
She's amazing. But yeah, Eric, there was one trip, I swear it took us like 12 hours to get home.
Oh, jeez.
If you gotta move that to like adjust the screen, or
I think I'm good.
yeah.
But yeah, I forget where in the Northeast we were coming from, but it was definitely would not have otherwise been a 12-hour trip. But she had to go potty like every half hour.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you telling me about that, yeah.
But now she can hold it for.
That's good.
Yeah.
You gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah. This is my first meet without her.
Does it still feel weird that, like,
It does.
husband and Rainey aren't with you?
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
It's like you're like, wait.
So in some ways, are you like, it's kind of nice, or are you like, oh, I miss them, or?
No, it is nice because as much as I love taking her to meets,
Yeah.
I don't really get to. She's my higher priority,
Yeah.
so I don't get. So I miss a lot. You know, and I know that going in, that it's like, okay, well, there's gonna be times where I'm not gonna be able to pay attention to the roads outside, or I just, kind of, get lost, like, I'll forget where we are, where we're going, and because I'm not really like paying attention. And but yeah, so it is nice in that regard. But it just feels weird, like I'm forgetting something.
Yeah.
I suspect that as she gets older, that she'll come to less meets because she'll start to have her own life. So, in good ways, and I'm not going to be like, no, sorry, kid, you have to miss the soccer tournament because we got to go to, the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania for a road meet.
Yeah, right.
How old is she?
She'll be 5 in June.
Okay.
I know, so she starts kindergarten this fall.
Yeah.
Before you know it, she'll be like, Ma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time flies. I don't have any kids, but I have a niece who's 6, going on 13.
Wait, what?
I have a niece who's 6,
Oh.
going on 13.
Oh my gosh.
Boy.
Yeah.
Here's the HOV entrance.
Here we go.
Yeah, the toll plaza for the bridge was right where you see that control tower.
Okay.
Okay.
It's when you cross the bridge in the general lanes, it's a bit easier to see where it used to be. They put these overheads up recently. There didn't used to be overhead signs there. So these lanes are open about 20 hours a day. They are open until about 11 a.m. going into town, and then they open going outbound at about 1 o'clock. I think I mentioned this yesterday, but these are the only HOV lanes in Louisiana.
Okay.
So you're getting a very unique Louisianan experience. second of the two bridges that was built. It was completed in 1988. The first bridge was built in 1958. And in your notes that you'll read later, you'll discover that the city of New Orleans commissioned Robert Moses to do a study on their proposed freeway system, and he advocated strongly for the construction of what became this bridge.
Hey, there's a cruise ship over there.
There are two cruise ships today.
Yeah.
So they're making up for yesterday when there weren't any. Tarp to prevent pieces of the building from falling onto the street. Yeah, that building's been abandoned for over 20 years. I think it was a luxury hotel when they built it, and then it just fell into disrepair, and it's been closed for, I think it was abandoned before Katrina. Shot of the dome right there. Smoothie King Center is where the New Orleans Pelicans play.
First time I was ever in New Orleans happened to be the same day as the New Orleans Bowl. Not the Sugar Bowl, the New Orleans Bowl.
Yeah.
So I decided to get tickets and go see it. It was like
Was it
Cincinnati and North Texas.
Was it in the dome?
Yeah, it was in the Superdome.
Okay. Yeah, I really recommend going into the dome at some point.
And
It's too bad there wasn't an event there this weekend. Because otherwise, instead of doing the dinner last night, I would have been like, oh, we're going into the dome, everybody.
Where the dome?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I mean, it looks big from the outside, but when you go inside and you see just the huge space that's underneath that roof, it is incredible. It was an engineering marvel of the world when it was completed in the 70s, and it still is one of the premier sports venues, at least in North America, if not the developed world.
HOV lanes in Louisiana. We don't have any in Oklahoma.
No, you guys don't, right?
When they built the new I-40 in OKC, near downtown OKC, I think the original plans had HOV lanes, but they decided to just make them all general purpose. So. I've just started a project. They're gonna, like the eastern, about 20 miles of the Turner Turnpike between OKC and Tulsa have been widened to 6 lanes, but now they're starting a project to widen the rest of it. And they're saying something about putting in truck lanes along the highway, which
like dedicated truck lanes.
Yeah. So interesting to see how that goes. But that turnpike's needed widened for a while. Because the western 2/3 of it's still basically as it was built in 1953, pre-interstate.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, they put the center concrete median in, but other than that, it's pretty much the original hills.
Right. The original grades and all that stuff. Yeah. I drove the Turner. I guess it would have been a little more than 2 years ago, and yeah, it is a night and day difference between section that they widened.
Yeah.
And then it cramps down into the 2-lane section the rest of the way.
So did you see the widened part first, or did you see the full part first?
I would have seen the new part first.
Okay, so you got what's the word I'm looking for? You got tricked. You're like, oh, this is really nice, and then all of a sudden you get close to Bristow, and it's like, oh, you're back in the 1950s.
Right.
So. Turner was the first turnpike to be built.
Yeah.
I think the Will Rogers was next, going Tulsa to Missouri. That was like later in the 50s.
That's another one that could use an extra lane.
Yeah, not as much. Not nearly as much as the Turner.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of traffic that commutes between OKC and Tulsa.
Right, yeah.
But when I went up to the Peoria meet in September, I had to detour around Will Rogers because there was it wasn't a wreck. There was construction going on, and it backed it up. So it's faster to get off on State Highway 28 and take that east for about 10 miles, then hit 69 north to Big Cabin. Sound lame, but I call mine the my towel setup the SGD, the Sun Glare Defender.
Ah, fancy.
Yeah.
Here's Carrollton. This is where we rejoin the freeway. Escort that was escorting some large fair floats or something like that. Mardi Gras floats.
Mardi Gras floats, yeah.
They're still in the process of breaking down stuff around the city. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And I-10 East was because I clinched 610 as well, but like right after I got on 10 at the eastern end of 610, it slowed down. That's what it was, and then of course they went south on 510, which is where I went, so I was still behind them, and then they all got off at the last exit before the bridge.
Oh jeez.
So I was behind them.
I knew something weird was going on because I was checking the traffic status like an hour or two before we got together this morning, and I noticed, I think they originated on the West Bank somewhere, because I noticed like a steady line of yellow and red going over the bridge at like, I don't know, it was like 8 o'clock this morning or something.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense, because the the police vehicle I saw at the back was Westwego, or however you say it.
Yeah, that's a West Bank community.
Yeah, so-
All right. Yeah.
So they all turned left at the last exit off of 510. So I decided to turn right, and I ended up seeing a really old sign directing me back towards 510.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just said Calmet Poitras.
That probably predates the interstate.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty old.
Yeah, because that bridge was built in the 60s, and it was a state highway. I mean, technically the interstate begins at the foot of that bridge. So there's always been a state highway in that area. So that sign might be as old as that.
Yeah, it was pretty old. So I was kind of like, hey, I took a little detour, but ended up seeing an old sign. So.
Yeah, I know the sign you're talking about, because I did the same thing for some reason.
Okay.
Back in November.
Yeah, it's like just west of 510, like the first turnaround. That's where it was.
Yeah. Here's the 1958 bridge. It used to be 4 lanes, and then there was like a center mall that had a guide rail in the middle, separating traffic. That was it. Special because they have the hyphenated state highways.
Yep, that too.
Which it's my understanding that they're going to start phasing those out.
Oklahoma just adds a letter to the end.
Oh, is that what they do?
Yeah.
It's a bit like New York used to do, although New York stopped doing that also.
State to do.
Is there any sarcasm in that statement?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah, I'm glad I took advantage of it the few years I lived in Ohio. Got all the counties in Ohio and Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Missouri in September.
Well, if you ever want to do Delaware, that's an easy state.
Yeah, that's. Oh, I fished that long ago.
No, you did. Okay, good.
Ooh, that view.
Yeah.
That's a good view. Back seat, that's alright.
I'll send you the picture I just took.
Okay, thank you.
Or I'll take one for you.
Oh yes, thank you, Eric. Please do.
Well, I think it opens up again at the circle here.
You can really see the cruise ships from here.
Yeah. I'm only ever used to seeing one of them at a time. I didn't realize that you could fit two of those big ones at once. I should have done a scavenger hunt today, with the challenge being clinch it Louisiana 428 without the use of Google Maps. You will probably be busy all day and you will be unsuccessful.
There's a playground under the bridge.
Yep.
He's probably wondering where we were. You rang?
Yeah, how did I get ahead of y'all? Like I'm already left.
I left after you.
Oh, I didn't
I watched you go and then I pulled out behind you.
know. No, Scott showed up, so we waited for him.
Right, I saw that.
Behind us, I thought y'all were already gone.
No. I saw him get here and then he hopped in with you and then you took off and then I took off after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. You guys took off the route.
Okay. Oh, can I get that view?
Which one do you want?
I don't know how down here.
Okay.
The one that's just done. Gotta get the view of the playground from the skyline.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah. Better believe it. Cruise ship and playground.
Okay. Yeah, there was a Disney ship in port.
Ooh.
A couple days ago, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's like one right after another around here. Yeah, because there are two ships in port today, it's going to be really busy down in the French Quarter today.
Oh, yes. It's funny because, and I know I feel like I've said this 1,000 times to anybody who's like, listen. Ever since having a kid, the appeal of going on a cruise ship has like increased in my mind immensely.
Really?
Yes, the idea of having something all inclusive that I don't have to plan, and places where you can take your kid for a while and have adult time.
And you can freestyle and do whatever you want.
Exactly.
Well, all these cruise ships now are just like, they're insane
Yeah.
with all the amenities they've got, you know?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you ever wanted to do like a Disney cruise, like you could fly to Orlando and they have a shuttle that takes you to Port Canaveral.
That's awesome.
And it's right, yeah, it's right, it's less than an hour ride away.
Talking about the swings. Well, there's my niece on the tire swing.
She's so cute.
Yeah. more, but we're all busy with life, so
Right.
it's kind of funny. I live in Norman. My mother lives in southwest Oklahoma City, and then my brother lives in more west Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So we're all. My mom's
Still
pretty
get
much
the-
halfway.
You still see the green
Yep.
shields every once in a while. This is the southbound beginning of LA 23, which
We
is
got another green shield here.
yeah. They are still common in some parts of the state, especially like in the northern half of the state. They've largely been phased out around here.
Yeah, my mom basically lives halfway between where I live and where my brother lives.
Ah, cool.
So it works out good. But
Just like that.
Bach is on, I would say. I've actually got to see him and hear him speak in person before. That
Oh,
was,
really?
That was really cool, yeah. Well, when I was in Columbus, he has a big sports and weightlifting festival every year, around this time of year, like late February, early March.
Wow.
And so he came down to Columbus a couple months before and talked for a little bit, so I got to attend that, and that was pretty cool.
Oh,
I
that's cool.
I even recorded it because I just couldn't believe that like Arnold Schwarzenegger was speaking like
Yeah.
in my presence, like
Yeah, right.
like it was awesome. But,
Oh, they have a king cake smoothie at Smoothie King. That's amazing.
Well, that's a very New Orleans thing to have.
Oh my gosh.